I'm forecaster Jimmy O'Neill for Smart Talk 1490 KMET.
That's right. It's the morning show here on ABC News Radio, KMET 1490 AM. I appreciate each and every one of you on this beautiful day. What are you going to do on this 12/22? 21. Can you believe it? I know 22 is coming up around the corner. 2022. That's going to be hard to say a couple times fast, but it is happening in our neck of the woods. What's going on in your neck of the woods? A lot of cool stuff today, including Matrix, and Jesse just realized there's another movie out as well this day. And Jesse, what is it?
Yeah, so the movie's being released today. The other one, other than the Matrix, is the Kingsman, which I completely forgot about that was going to be released today. So, I mean, what's up with that? I mean, I enjoy these new movies, but come on, give me a break. Release on Friday.
Yeah, I'm completely with you right now on that. I don't know why, who, how. I just know I have had no time, and normally I'm caught up by now. I've got 4 movies now to watch: Ghostbusters Afterlife, which you recommended, Spider-Man, which I've heard nothing bad about, Matrix, and then, of course, Kingsman, which I've seen the first 2 Kingsman. I'm not going to lie, I love the first Kingsman. The second one was a little bit more bloody than I wanted. Excuse me. But really good movie, right? Like, I would never let my mom watch it because it's a little too much violence. I would wait for, like, the edited version, right? But great storyline, right?
Oh, yeah, great storyline. I love the second one. All I got to say is Elton John kicked butt. That's all I got to say. But yeah, no, yeah, they are extremely violent movies. They are not for children, but for the adult in me, oh, it's a great movie.
You know what? You're hilarious. I literally was thinking back. I go, I do not remember Elton John being in the movie, but the one who plays Elton John, that's what you're talking about, right? Because I remember Elton John being in the...
Yeah, he's in their movie.
Was he? I don't
Yeah,
know.
he's in the second one.
Is he? Oh man, I need to see it again. Okay, I completely forgot it. See, that's my memory. It's just I just don't remember that. All right, lots of good stuff happening around the world. Lots of cautionary stuff as well. If you got social media comments, let them come in on Twitter, Facebook. We're also on Alexa. Don't forget, if you have Alexa, just say, Alexa, I want to listen to KMET 1490 AM. We have a lot of great programming, especially this day. Jesse, what's coming up after us and all throughout the day?
Let's see, after us, we have Here's to Your Health, which goes into all health-related stuff. Great information there. After that, we have Dave Levine, who talks about Law and Order stuff. A lot of great stories. We got, we have Dave Ramsey. I don't know why I smile every time I see someone freak out because they make 6 figures and they say they're poor. But yeah, so let's see, what else do we got? We got Kevin McCullough, who goes into national stuff. I don't really know how to phrase it. But yeah, we have so many great programming, and you never know what we're going to be airing. So listen in and find out.
That's right. We've got lots of great programming all throughout the day, 24/7. We're one of the stations that does operate 24/7. Just download the app. It's free, and you'll always have something to listen to. You can never say you're completely bored. And you'll learn something, too. Talk radio, I say, is one of the things that helps people learn, not just to listen, but also just kind of, use their thinking mind. Sometimes you do agree. Sometimes you don't agree. And it's okay to not agree all the time. It's good to say, you know what, I have my own opinion about that, and here's why. And I always say, if you have your own opinion, make sure you have more than just an opinion. Get more education behind it. But then as you go throughout the day, you'll think, oh, that makes sense, this makes sense, and that makes sense, right? So I say do that. I'll be honest. Before I got into radio, I rarely listen to talk radio. I usually only listen to news radio to find out, traffic and other things and see what was happening around the world. But rarely did I listen to radio until I got into radio. And then I said, I need to start listening to people that talk a lot. And then I started to understand I liked more than not, because as a young kid, I used to love, and correct me if I'm wrong, Jesse, do you ever remember the days where they would actually do like movies, but on radio, called, I forgot what they call it though, but it was like The Lone Ranger on the radio. Did you ever hear those as a kid or no?
I know what you're talking about. I don't remember exactly listening to, but you're kind of like audiobooks.
Yeah. But like full on, like you would be okay. Like for example, we would do Avengers, and you would be, take a character, and then I'd be the other character, and then we would, do the sounds and the voices and all that, and then the walkie. Well, Joey, I don't know why Johnny's over there, and then it's like a drama, right? It's a drama. Sometimes they'd have funny ones too. I love those. I think we should bring those back because I feel like Netflix is kind of like that. When you're in the vehicle and you want to like watch a movie, but you don't really want to watch it, you know what I mean? You could play it on just the audio portion, and there you go. But I say radio needs to kind of go back to that because it was fun to listen and to kind of imagine. It was like an audiobook where you kind of would imagine the whole characters, and they would be all in character. And I think we need to bring that back because I remember loving that. But I remember loving all kinds of radio and talk radio that we have now, which is, learn and then find out other people's perspective, like Dave Ramsey. I love that show because it's right. You hear people, you hear the money, how much they're making, and then you find out they're in debt, and then they get out of debt, but you're like, dang, you were in more debt than I was. I remember I knew I was in debt like $10,000, $12,000, and I'd hear ones that are like, I'm $80,000. I'm like, God, I feel good about myself right now. I'm $180,000 in debt. I'm like, dang, I really feel good about myself right now because it's kind of perspective, So if they could get out of debt, you could get out of debt too. Speaking of which, this happened just recently, and it made the news headlines, oddly enough. People were sharing their job titles and exact salaries, and we kind of shared this briefly, but here is what people are making around the world. Okay, you ready? I'll go to number 8 on the list here, and here it is. Okay, number 8, life insurance agent makes on average $80,000 to $100,000 first year. Residual income around $10,000 to $50,000 per month after 10 years if you're average. That's according to one person who says that. I know some life insurance agents that say, no, you don't make that much. But that's for this one life insurance agent. And that's a difficult job to work in life insurance unless you hit up employers and employees. Then usually they'll pay for it. But people usually don't pay for their own life insurance if they don't want to talk about it. But I will say right now is the right time to talk about it because of coronavirus and other certain things that we have around us. Number 7 on the list, art designer. I went to art school. My whole family was like, what are you going to do with that degree? I'm a designer for a top media company and make $120,000 a year. Full benefits, a ton of paid time off, and a plethora of perks. Support your artist family members. That's nice when you get it, right, Jesse? That's not always the norm for everyone, right?
Right, because I know so many artists, but you know what? Those jobs are 1 in every 10,000.
Yeah, they really are, So I say when you get it and you have it, keep it, right? Don't complain. Be good with everybody. Get along with everybody. And then you'll go next level eventually, right? Data analyst, a statistician at a finance company he says he makes about $95,000 base and $15,000 bonus at a large company. That's pretty good. Again, at a finance companies usually do really well in moments like this where we have economy kind of downturning and everybody else kind of going, ugh, what are we going to do next? Here's number 5 on the list, registered nurse in trauma operating room. She says, we get all the car accidents, gunshots, and stab wounds. I make $110,000 a year. It can be a little hectic, but I love helping others, and it's fascinating assisting a surgeon save someone's life. That means she's in it to win. I would say go next level, go for the next training, and become a doctor. Nurses, you need to start leveling up. If you stay a nurse, that's one thing, but you usually have more capabilities than you know. You just need the time and the money to make ends meet. And if you're given maybe a special grant, which I think Biden should start administering that, for nurses and or people that are support that would like to be a doctor, we need more doctors. As this virus ends up taking the majority of people, including those in the healthcare sector, we need more doctors. We don't need less doctors. We need more doctors. And as far as I know, there's very few people going to different types of colleges right now, even wanting to be a doctor. So that means we're behind. That means our doctor's age are not the way they need to be. I remember hearing about this about 8 to 12 years ago, and people said, we have a nurse shortage, we have a doctor shortage, we need to promote more healthcare. And I say, yeah, I get it now, because in a pandemic around the world, everybody's stretched thin. That's what we're having a problem with the OM. The OM is still putting people in the hospital, whether they get well or not is still out for debate, but you still need to get treated by doctors, nurses. So the nurses are the front line, literally, and they're getting stressed out. They have to deal with all these patients, and it is a big deal when one actually pays attention to you and you say, hey, thank you very much. Trust me, I know, because my sister was in the hospital as of late, and we had some really good nurses, and then we had some really dumb people, and they were like, no, she can't be here. We know the law, when they didn't know the law, and I could have got them in trouble with the law. But once you call that out, then they go, oh, we're so sorry. We'll find her a room. Trust me, some places have really dumb people at the mix, and I have no problem saying that. But then on the other hand, there's good people at that same place, so be patient. It doesn't mean one size fits all. Number 4, clinical counselor at an immigration shelter. Says, I'm making about $57,000 a year, but currently have hazard pay, so I'm at $67,000 at the moment. That's pretty good for a clinical counselor at an immigration shelter. Number 3, change management consultant. 3 years of relevant but not exact prior experience at Big Four firm. $75,000 is what he's making. Here's one, heavy haul truck driver. Nobody ever thinks about this, but I remember speaking to a person who says, I'm going to get out of film and I'm going to do truck driving. He says, I haul wind turbines, aircraft, wings, engines. So he's got one of those really big ones, like those, ones that kind of, they have somebody on the back and somebody in the front saying wide load, one of those. He says, I made, get this, Jesse, $847,000 so far this year. After taxes, fuel permits, and escorts this year, I take home, that's what you got to remember, take home is $326,000 more or less. That's still good, but he has to pay because he, kind of gets his, what the escorts are. Those are the ones in the front or the back to say, hey, people, wide load, don't come near this truck. So because they have to do that. So he does the big stuff. But he's a heavy haul truck driver. He's not an average truck driver. So get that right. And then this one, a travel nurse. Says, I make $120 to $150 an hour. When I was a staff nurse, my pay was $35 to $38 an hour. So for you nurses, travel nurses is where it's at right now. In healthcare, you'll get paid really good if you're a nurse. So that's why I say to people, be what you need to be ahead of it, and just make sure you do the right thing. Again, these were top paid jobs. But, again, we're not focusing on the lower paid jobs, which you would say, yeah, that makes sense. But it's good if you're looking for a new career or you're looking for something. Healthcare is always going to pay back because people are always going to be sick and people are still going to make the money no matter what. So if you can get ahead of that, go to schoolings, and if you have a grant or if you have ways to get to be a nurse. And then, like I said, focus if you feel like you can. If you could stomach, surgery or surgeons like that, start asking the surgeons, hey, what do I need to do to go next level? And I think you'll thank yourself in the end, and you'll thank everybody around you, okay? Now, speaking of healthcare, this is a really good, interesting development, especially for people with HIV, okay? Now, anybody that knows anybody that has HIV, it is a problem that I feel we're going to need to talk about in the next few weeks, and here's why. HIV is known by most as a certain number that actually get HIV and admit to it, okay? There's free HIV testing everywhere, but what people don't understand is it's still around us, okay? Now, everybody knows in the 80s it was the big thing, AIDS. That's what everybody was talking about. Then in the 90s, it was kind of a pretty big thing still, but it got kind of clouded in the 2000 era, and then in the 10s, it really got clouded, so everybody's like, okay, where's it at? We don't talk about it anymore. Cancer, heart disease, and other forms of different debilitating diseases were talked about and spoken of a lot. But remember the AIDS concert back in the 80s and the 90s? We had those from time to time, and sometimes we have them pop up in between, but nobody realizes what harm it still does to everyone. The reality is those things are still happening, and unfortunately, it doesn't just happen over a certain same-sex people. If you have one person who does kind of go both ways, then technically you've got other people that are going to have HIV as well. So what do you do? Now, those that are open and honest with their partner ahead of time and say, I'm HIV positive, you can still do something about it. And for those out there, this is good news for people, although I am saying right here, right now, it's one of those things where you have to have that discussion and you have to get tested before you enter a very, very important relationship, especially if you've been with others. Whether you know it or not, it just takes one person to give it to you. They don't even need to be of a certain whatever it is that you think they have to be. They can be a girl, it can be a boy, it could be anybody that has been intimate with somebody else. Having said that, it happens in marriages where one partner doesn't want to tell the other partner, hey, I kind of do this or I do that without you knowing, and now the family has it, unfortunately. If you're pregnant, you can pass it on to your kids. I met a young lady who was in her 20s who said literally she got it from her mom, and she didn't know how she got it until later on, but she knew that she was going to die by the age of 10 to 12. That's what the doctors told her. Thankfully, she takes the pills every single day. She got horrible bumps on her body, but she can enter a relationship if she's honest and they take preventative measures. Now, having said that, the preventative measures are usually in pill form, but there is a new hope for those that actually have this situation, and here it is. The headline reads, first ever injectable HIV prevention drug approved by the FDA. We're going to take a quick little break. We're going to talk about this and why this is hope for people that have HIV and those that don't want to get HIV but want to be in a relationship regardless, and or, again, preventive measures ahead of time because people are, unfortunately, during coronavirus, having more than not sex, right? It's a thing. It's a period. It's end of story. If you're single, you know what I'm talking about. If you're married, you know what I'm talking about. If you don't want your partner cheating on you, because you never know what they could bring home. All right, so we're going to take a quick little break. We'll be right back with more right after these messages. Stay tuned.
HolySupplies.com. We are your go-to online shopping source for all discount Catholic products. We have Catholic statues for indoor or outdoor use. Statues from 8 inches to 24, 36, 48, 60, and even 72 inches tall. HolySupplies.com is your source for traditional Catholic statues. You can get a 20% discount on your first order with free shipping on orders over $50 using the discount code KMET. Please visit HolySupplies.com today. Use discount code KMET to get your discounts.
When you want the best performance for your vehicle, think only of Scott's Headers and Mufflers in Beaumont, right off the I-10 and 60 freeways. Check out Scott's complete list of performance products on their website at hdrinfo.com. Scott's Headers and Mufflers can recommend ways for your car or truck to get better gas mileage and cut down on emissions. Need your car or truck to pass smog only? Go to Scott's Headers and Mufflers in Beaumont. Find out all of your questions on vehicle performance by logging on to hdrinfo.com. Scott's Headers and Mufflers in Beaumont, hdrinfo.com.
Are dogs really man's best friend? One Unwavering Friend, Heartwarming Tales of Men and Dogs by notable author Dr. Chris Blazina shares stories of some of history's greatest men and their dogs. One Unwavering Friend tells how Napoleon, Dickens, Darwin, and Freud were influenced by their loving canine connections. The perfect holiday book for men with dogs and the women who love them both. Give a puppy to Amazon Worldwide, Barnes & Noble.
Hi everyone, Dave Levine here. The Dave Levine Show is back on the air, 10 to 11 a.m. Wednesday mornings on KMET 1490. Join me for an hour of Law & Order stories and commentary. Law & Order is now the #1 issue for Californians. If you miss it live, you can hear or watch it 24/7 on either SoundCloud or live stream. See you then. Thank you. Can't you see? Just a few seconds.
Hello, listeners. Christopher here from The Christopher Show. Hey, I want to talk to you a little bit about CBD. Now, CBD is not approved by the FDA as of yet. Myself, as well as millions of other people across the USA, have used it with help for pain, anxiety, sleep, and other conditions. Now, you know, all CBD products are not equal. It really matters on where you get the CBD from. Now, I suggest you get it from a qualified pharmacist, and I happen to know of one. It's at Your Pharmacy and Mobility Solutions in Beaumont, California. They only carry pharmaceutical-grade CBD products of the highest quality. So if you want the best, you go to Your Pharmacy and Mobility Solutions. Their staff is there to help you with all your CBD, pharmacy, and mobility needs. They're located at 1680 East 6th Street in Beaumont, California. Give them a call, 951-845-8252. Once again, it's Your Pharmacy Mobility Solutions in Beaumont, 951-845-8252. Once again, it's Your Pharmacy and Mobility Solutions in Beaumont, California, 951-845-8252.
Welcome back. Yes, it is the morning show here on ABC News Radio, KMET 1490 AM, and we appreciate each and every one of you. Again, the discussion, HIV, here's why. There is hope for people. Although I feel more needs to be done, at least this is being done right now, and it's good to have this discussion. I was literally speaking to the people over at Ultimed as of like 4 or 5 weeks ago. I can't remember exactly the day. And they said this is a problem that's happening behind the scenes. Everybody's talking about coronavirus, they're talking about the different variants, but they're not talking about those that are autoimmune deficiency already, especially those that are HIV positive. Of course, HIV positive is different from AIDS in many different elements, but at the same time, there's different types of HIV as well. So, having said that, here is the good news on our plate as of right now. The U.S. Food and Drug Administration has approved the first ever long-acting injectable drug for HIV prevention. Until this week, the only FDA licensed and approved medications for HIV pre-exposure prophylaxis, most commonly known as PrEP, were daily oral pills containing the HIV treatment drugs tenofovir and emtricitabine, which slow the progression of an HIV infection in the body. Now, having said that, that is if you want to be with somebody that already has it, and you'll see why that is important right now. It's taken daily so that it builds up in your system to the point that if there is an HIV infection, it prevents the virus from replicating and spreading throughout the body. So if you know, for example, you have a situation where you have a partner who already has admitted this, hopefully they have admitted this, and hopefully they know they have this, because a lot of people live with it and they don't even know they have it until the symptoms become worse, and then they go to a doctor, then they get a full blood panel, and maybe they get tested for HIV and or AIDS, and then they go, shoot, I had it all this time, and therein lies the problem, because now they're thinking about all the people that they've been intimate with, one-night stands or just regular stands, and then they go, shoot, did I give it to them, and them, and that's a problem that many people don't talk about, but they need to start talking about, especially right now. When taken as prescribed, the PrEP services reduce the risk of getting HIV from sex by about 99%. That's why it's so important to get this, okay? And now that's according to data from the CDC. Individuals who feel at risk of HIV infection have the option of taking the daily pill or the new shot every 2 months after 2 initiation injections administered 1 month apart. So it's an injection. Now, Jesse, just out of curiosity, if you knew this was a thing, especially with you and or your loved one, which I'm not saying it is, but if you knew it was, let's go back to the single route. As you know, I know you're not single anymore, but if you were, would you think of this as the first thing when you swipe right on Tinder, for example?
You mean taking a pill?
No, that HIV would be a problem.
Oh no, I would never think that would be a problem. Oh my God, I'm not a fool. I wrap my tool.
There you go. And that actually is the best thing that you can do to help prevent. But some people do not, right? And because of that, you got to be careful. And then nobody wants to have that discussion. Well, hold on. Do we need to get tested? The answer is usually yes. And then you want to make sure that they do get tested, not that they just say, oh, yeah, I got tested, because we all know how that rolls, right? So according to this, individuals who feel at risk of HIV infection have the option of taking the daily pill. Now, according to the FDA, they said this in a statement, when taken as, this injection given every 2 months will be critical to addressing the HIV epidemic in the U.S., including helping high-risk individuals and certain groups where adherence to daily medication has been a major challenge or not a realistic option. In other words, if you forget it, then are you going to be resistant against it? The answer is that depends. If you miss a certain amount of days, will you keep up with it eventually? Or let's say you and your partner are having a fight, and now you're like, well, I don't need to take it. But it builds up slowly into the system with the pill form. So there's still the pill form, so you could take a shot every 2 months after you take the initiation of the other 2 shots. Now the question I have is, who's going to want to take a shot to be in it to win it with a said partner? That depends, right?
I guess whoever's okay with getting shots. I mean, I have no problem with getting shots, but I think a pill would be easier.
Yeah, so again, at least they have this option for people that don't want to do that day-to-day thing, but you're going to have regular visits with your doctor, and you're going to have to get these shots pretty regularly, again, if you already have a situation. Now, there are certain people in certain professions, as we know, that honestly make their money with certain guys. They would probably do this more than not already as a safety precaution, because your odds are high if you're in the profession of, like Nevada or certain, what I mean, type of sites that people actually say, hey, I want to be your sugar baby. I want a sugar daddy. Guess what? Those guys are going to be pretty intimate with pretty much anybody, and guaranteed the law. You got it, Jesse. What were you thinking?
No, you're right. I was just like, yeah, you'd be surprised what these sugar babies will do for money. So, yeah, I just thought of that. Good Lord.
Yeah, the laws of average dictate that if a guy is going to be with more than one lady, or opposite, if one lady is going to be more than one guy, pretty soon things are going to be kind of heated. That's why, like you said, wrap it up. Better to invest in those than invest in pain for the rest of your life. Now, I know this is kind of like, okay, kind of 80s type talk. It's not, and that's the problem with this generation. This generation, especially the younger generation, honestly, if you say AIDS or HIV, they know so little about it because we're not talking about it. We're talking about coronavirus. So we need to kind of get that information more out, get the testing more readily available, and just say, hey, it doesn't cost a lot. It's more or not usually free. Just go get it tested. Then you can kind of be okay with things, right? And now you know you're safe. But if you have a partner who's cheated on you, and or you go back and forth with the said person, who have they been with in the meantime, and how do you know they're clean and clear? You don't, right? We all know what happens in the middle of adult moments, right? So my point is this is good news for those that actually have HIV and that want to enter a relationship, but this is great news for those that are very honest with other people. Now, for those that know, there are certain HIV positive people that will say, hey, I'm HIV positive. We know some that have admitted to this in the public space, but they usually admit it to their partner ahead of time. If you admit it to your partner ahead of time, you can take these preventative measures, which are very, very, very high against getting HIV. Now, having said that, that's only if you know you have it, and only if you're honest. There's people that just are not honest, and they do it on purpose, like in prisons or in jail cells. There are people that know they have it, and they call it, hey, that's my killer, now you have to live with that, right? And people get raped because of it. And then they do this in really bad ways. This happens in the prison system more than not. So you need to be careful in the prison system as well. Make sure people have testing ability so you know who is HIV positive, who is not, and then what to do next, okay? These are the very serious things that we all have to discuss, but we often don't want to discuss it, just like life insurance. Like in social media, I think you guys had some comments there about life insurance, and these are the things that we have to talk about, all right? So the good news for those that are HIV positive, or those that will become HIV positive, you still can have a love life, but you need to be open and honest with your partner and say, look, I hate to say this, but now you're going to have to take something so you don't get HIV positive. According to this, Dr. Darian Sutton, who's an emergency medicine physician, says it's a game changer in the world of HIV prevention. Patients often have difficulty complying with any oral medication, so a bi-monthly injection can truly change the landscape in terms of HIV prevention. Having a bi-monthly treatment serves as an opportunity to interact with the patient, share risk reduction, sexual health education, and complete necessary screenings. He went on to say patients on PrEP can often feel stigmatized with taking daily medication. Some have shared with me that they fear simple actions like picking up their medications from the pharmacy due to fear of stigmatization. Again, when people have this, they don't want to be known to have it. They kind of just keep it literally just like, undercover. Like they don't want to talk about it unless they have to talk about it. It's one of those things you just don't want to get, and you don't want to tell people you have it, because then that stigma is going to unfortunately be there. He says this stigma doesn't stop at the pharmacy, as many also fear being seen carrying their preventative medications in public. I honestly don't know what they look like. I don't know that I would be judging, but I would be like, are you HIV positive? We cannot be in a relationship. I know myself. I cannot allow that. Sutton added the study was inclusive, including transgender women, which allows better applicability with diverse patient populations. CDC shows that an estimated 34,000 people in the U.S. acquired HIV in just 2019 alone. And those are the people that admit to it. There's a lot of people that get private screenings and they don't admit to it at all. You do not have to be public about having HIV as of yet. And that's the situation that we see ourselves in. Now, I saw a documentary where it said in the biggest area is Africa, where people have HIV and they're trying to get medication over there for that. But this is going to be a new good thing, because now it's not just going to be in pill form, it's going to be injection form. But again, it's every 2 months. I can't wait till we get to the point where HIV is just not a thing. But until then, we have to understand it is a thing. And that with coronavirus is a killer, because those that have HIV, if you get just a simple cold and or flu and you have it at a high count, if you're not getting it treated, you could die literally within 3 months. That's how bad it is. So that's why when some people don't want to get near you and or they get sick because they don't want to tell you what they have, that's might be a situation that they have. So be careful out there. Just remember, it affects anyone and everyone. You don't have to be a certain bias, although they always promote it. Okay, it's among this group or that group. Just remember, anybody can sleep with anybody. Anybody can give it to anybody because it's highly transmittable, especially if you do not use any sort of protection. All right, so having said that, we're going to switch gears in just a minute. But remember, that's the good news. The great news is, be aware of it. Get tested. Have your partner tested if you're going to enter intimate settings. And there you go. Okay, people, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back with more right after these messages. Stay tuned.
They are your online shopping source for all discount Catholic products. Please visit them at holysupplies.com. They have the Catholic jewelry of your patron saint, military branches, your favorite saint, and traditional Catholic medals. All jewelry is produced in the USA and available in 14-karat gold and sterling silver. holysupplies.com is your source for discount Catholic jewelry. Visit holysupplies.com today. Use discount code KMET to get 20% off and free shipping on orders over $50.
Facing a criminal charge and the possibility of a jail sentence can be terrifying. Wallen and Claridge is here to help you. Call 877-466-5245. Our law firm has been successfully defending clients facing crimes for over 40 years. We have offices throughout Riverside and San Bernardino County. Call us at 877-466-5245. That is 877-4-NO-JAIL for a free phone consultation. We will be there when you call.
Tried shipping a package lately? It's amazing how difficult and time-consuming it can be. Packing, envelopes, boxes, second-day ground, next-day air, it's all enough to give you a headache. Next time, do yourself a favor, go with the pros at the UPS store in Beaumont. They'll pack it right and let you know all your shipping options. You can also take care of everyday tasks like copies, faxing, notary services, and live scan fingerprinting. And while you're there, pay your Edison, gas company, and Verizon bills. Open extended hours Monday through Saturday. The UPS store in Beaumont, located in the Oak Valley Plaza at 1440 Beaumont Avenue. Call 951-769-5956. That's 951-769-5956. Online at the upsstorelocal.com/5027 or Google 5027.
For all you truck and RV enthusiasts, TruckWorks right here in Banning is your one-stop shop for the best diesel performance and overall truck and RV needs. Whether you're towing, racing, off-road, or just cruising around town, TruckWorks specializes in truck and RV service, maintenance, repair, and performance upgrades for every light and medium-duty truck manufacturer. Bring it down to Terry and the guys at TruckWorks. Call 951-922-4776 or visit their website at mydieseldown.com today.
Join West Coast Business Review with Daryl McCants each Wednesday afternoon at 4 o'clock p.m. Daryl focuses on successful businesses from California's southern border to Canada, including the great border states of Arizona and Nevada. Every week, Daryl provides in-depth discussions and interviews with prominent leaders and innovators that makes all of our lives better and more productive. West Coast Business Review with Daryl McCants, Wednesdays at 4 o'clock p.m. right here on Smart Talk Radio.
Welcome back. Yes, it is the morning show here on ABC News Radio, KMET 1490 AM. And I will say, if you're looking at possibly watching The Matrix in the movies, you also have an option, HBO Max. Jesse, what's going on over there?
Oh, on HBO Max?
Yes, sir.
I love HBO Max. There are so many great things on there. Like if you're into DC, there's so many great things like Doom Patrol, Young Justice, Phantoms. I don't know if you've seen that animated series.
No, I haven't seen any of them yet.
Oh, okay. If you see it, yeah. If you get a chance to get HBO Max, watch it. Young Justice is great. There's so many great shows on HBO Max, but you know what? Today is Matrix Day. So all I know is as soon as I get home, which is in, oh my God, 10 hours, I'll watch that movie. But until then, I don't know.
Well, John Wick 4 is also on the way. That's pretty cool, huh? I know, right? I'm excited for that, not going to lie. And, of course, Keanu's always busy. He's doing his thing, and I say good job. It does premiere. It officially joins the list of action movies with its release, of course, in the holidays. In the midst of the season, there are ways to watch it. And the first way, of course, is to go to the theater. Now, I will say this. I want to see it on the big screen. That's my only little thing that some movies I say, okay, I don't need to see it on the big screen. I can see it on the little, screen that I have at home. But there's something about the movie theater that just you get to be so immersed in. But I will say, don't be unsafe. If you're going to do that, make sure to wear your mask. Make sure to practice social distancing. I've had to do that. But even at the drive-in, it's still kind of a good thing to see it on the big screen, right? There's just something massive about it. That's what I like. I don't know about you, Jesse.
No, you're right. There's just an experience when you go to the theaters that you just can't get inside your home. I mean, unless you got a giant theater in your home, which is, if you do, great.
Yeah.
But, for the rest of us, you know what? It's just a giant experience.
Now,
you see it, and it's just amazing.
Yeah, and I will say, because you can see it again and again and again, like HBO Max, like you've done with Black Widow, right? You were able to see that. I don't know how many times. Did you clock yourself on the amount of times that you saw Black Widow?
No, I stopped counting at 10.
Okay. And that's fine, right? Because you literally don't have to pay again and again and again to go see it, right? But the movie is streaming for HBO Max subscribers who pay for the ad-free tier at $15 a month. For lower tier $10 a month subscribers, the film isn't available, so you have to do the $15 one, okay? The Matrix Resurrections is also only available for streaming during the simultaneous 31-day theatrical run, similar to the streaming and theater release of Dune, okay? So it's a limited time. Because it's a limited time, you have to remember that that's the situation you're going to find yourself in. Don't go for the $10. You have to go for the $15, and there you go. So, hey, it's worth it if you have all the other great shows, and you're going to watch those as well, right, Jesse?
Oh, yeah. Like, I think the one show that I recommend for people is to watch Lovecraft Country.
Okay. All right.
And it's just like, what was it? There are scenes in there where it's just like really horrifying. And it's not from the monsters or the horrific things like that. It's the fact that I learned of certain, I guess, historical facts about our country. Like, I've never heard of a sundown town. So,
neither have I, actually. That's kind of interesting.
Yeah, like, it sounds interesting, but when you find out what it actually is, you're just like, what? And yeah, so yeah, it's really so like a lot of the racist stuff in there is just really horrifying to me, because I was like, I've seen racist stuff, but that they take it to a whole new level back then.
Good to know. All right, let's go to social media comments right now. Let's go ahead and see what's going on. Stephanie Reed, hello, good to have you here on social media chat room. Thank you very much. She says, I smell snow. Happy editing this glorious cold for this awesomeness busy day ahead. Again, she's in Cleveland, Ohio. She's got some pretty cool stuff there. Judy McLam is tuning in. Thank you, Judy. Rosalie says, good morning. Happy Wednesday. Yay. She says, if I left moved back in with my dad, I would be out of debt in less than 6 months. Hey, you know what? I say do it. Why not? Let's see. Diana Carbajal tuning in. Viviana's tuning in. Rosalie says, I was a life insurance agent. I let my license go because you have to hustle. People never want life insurance, especially in the Hispanic culture. You talk about death, you're jinxing them. Getting my real estate license now. Yeah, it's hard. It's not easy. It's not for the faint of heart. And honestly, if you got your life insurance license, you know how to study, because that study test is highly a lot. I did just a little bit of studying. I said, this is crazy. I don't want to do this anymore. So I gave it up. I'm not going to lie. But you could do real estate easily. But people don't ever tell you how hard it is. Like I say, if you go with the employer portion of things, then you have to be seen by employers, and they have to offer it to their employees, and then that's a lot easier than going person to person doing that. They just don't tell you how it works. Patrick Kelly, thank you for tuning in. She says, yeah, I made gross $63,000 working for the state of California. Net was $47,000. Not cool, especially for the crap we put up with. And she means after taxes, because that's what she ended up having to pay after taxes. So, yeah, I agree with that. Stephanie says, yesterday seen in Cleveland, Ohio, off of Carnegie, there was a huge traffic jam lineup at a COVID testing center. I believe it. People are getting very sick right now, and they're wanting to know if it's a cold, if it's a flu, or if it's just COVID. And unfortunately, I want to say 68% are COVID related. But if you don't get COVID, thank goodness. But if you do get COVID, make sure to do the right thing, and then make sure to practice what you need to do in order to not get other people sick, especially those that are more at risk than not. All right. I mean, come on. If Trump is getting it, I'm pretty sure anybody and everybody should want to get the shots, right? To not get it, because that guy just thinks he knows it all, and now he's like, okay, just get it, everybody, right? So it's like, could you have said that the first year when you were as president last year? Oh yeah, okay. Now, according to this, under a year ago, 22-year-old Madison Peel was working at a McDonald's in Kentucky, where she was paid $12 an hour. She says she makes between now, get this, Jesse. Jesse. I don't know why I called you Jesse. I'm so sorry. I'm dumb in the head. She says she makes between $5,000 and $10,000 a month by posting food recipes on TikTok. What? $5,000 to $10,000 a month on TikTok? I'm not going to lie, Jesse. I remember news stories like this happening about YouTubers, and I was late to the game with YouTube. But if we're going to see more TikTokers make money like this, I say jump on it. Be a TikToker, right? Just do it now before it gets everywhere and then some, because if people are making a good living doing this, I know she probably started a while back. So here's her story. Did you know this about TikTok? You can make good money?
I do, but the problem with that is, you know what? Everyone's doing it, but you have to have content that speaks out for everyone.
Got it. You need to just and you have to always be on it, huh?
Yeah, you have to always be on it, and you just have to you just have to have like a vibe, I guess. I don't know. Some people resonate with certain people.
Got it. Okay.
You just have to hope that your channel blows.
Oh, it blows up. Yeah, gotcha. Right. Let's see. Her known handle is Madison's Kitchen. If you want to follow her. Peel began amassing her following after she posted a TikTok of a roasted chicken to the song "Up" by Cardi B. 1 week after the video went viral, that's one of the key. That's what you're talking about, having a video that kind of goes viral. She quit her job at McDonald's and started pursuing content creation full time. She said to this news article, I know that's probably not responsible, but I saw a promising future with TikTok and had a lot of brands reaching out already from that video. Today, she has over, get this, 350,000 followers, 11.8 million likes on the app. Since February, she's worked with 20 to 30 brands, including Kroger, Walmart, Weber Grills, and Heinz. She says it's a big jump from her job at McDonald's, where Peel started working when she was 15 years old. The fast food chain was short-staffed when she left, forcing employees to work 3 people's jobs for one person's salary. She says, now I'm able to get my own house. I can pay for stuff on my own and not have to worry anymore. Without a college degree or classical cooking training, she belongs to the growing cohort of Gen Z influencers carving out untraditional careers on TikTok. She said, quote, anything you're passionate about, you can create content on. People can see it, and then it becomes a business even overnight. Now, I will say this. It sounds exactly like YouTubers that made it big early on in the day. Now, I will say this. Never depend on just one form of brand to make you big. And I mean by that, TikTok is a brand. When you think about back in the day, I think we had Vine. Remember Vine? Vine was all the rage. And a lot of people made some good money there. Musical.ly is another one that's out there, but kind of has lost some steam behind TikTok. Now, TikTok can be bought over by Facebook and or Snapchat that are still out there, and they all of a sudden they can be completely a different vehicle of content. So while you can make the money, I say this always, but make sure to be on more than one version of social media. Be on at least 2 others. That way you can branch off if all of a sudden it goes bye-bye. Now, YouTube is a perfect example. YouTube, you make money from YouTube. You can even make money from Facebook Watch. I know because my channel is on Facebook Watch, and it happened after one of our videos went very, very, very viral with a lot of people, and it hit like 300,000 literally within a week and a half. And all of a sudden Facebook says, okay, you qualify for monetization. But you have to maintain a certain amount of things, and if you get certain things dinged against you, then all of a sudden you could be away overnight. So I will say always have a backup plan, but if you get into content creation like she does, I say do it while you can. Why not? And don't quit your day job. Always keep your day job, because those that go, oh, I'm going to be a success overnight, rarely make it a success overnight. But if you do it on the side while you have a job, then who knows? If you do it for the fun of it, then you finally get the algorithm, and then you finally understand algorithms can change. Do it while the algorithms are staying consistent. YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all of them have different algorithms. It's harder to get a following now, but when you get it early on, you have a better chance at it. So I say for the next 3 to 4 months, if you're going to be on TikTok, be on TikTok and be consistent with it. That way you can start leveling up, and you can fuel up your other, your other, like your Facebook or your Instagram or your Twitter. But once they start putting like a little bit of control on it, and now everybody has literally kind of more like, oh, now it's a pain to do it. Do it while it's not a pain, while it does work, and then you'll be ahead of it, okay? I know many people that start off in social media and end up really good eventually, because they start getting very used to being in front of the camera, and because they get used to being in front of the camera, they use that for business opportunities eventually. Now, if brands are looking at TikTok, I will say be on it right now, because that means they're being told by their social media managers, but they're being told by their PR people, TikTok is an influencer for a certain age group. I have an account on TikTok, but I haven't used it in, like, I want to say since it came out, but I want to say probably a year after it came out. But I thought, okay, let me try it out. And I only have like 3 videos on there. I didn't do much. But I met a TikToker who put me on his channel, and I thought, okay, well, that's cool. But I didn't have my TikTok ready to go to kind of repost it. I don't know how to work it. So will I be looking at it? Most likely, yes. But it's short form content. That's why you have to keep posting things all the time. Some people tell stories through it. Some people make a living through it. And some people just have fun with it. So I say have fun until you make money. And then when you can make the money to make a business out of it, do that, and then you never know who you'll connect with. But always make sure you're not just on one platform. That's my story. I'm sticking to it. Make sure to get your subscribers really high, really up, and then you'll be ahead of it. That's the way YouTube started. That's the way Facebook started, and that's how Instagram started as well. So that's the good news. The other good news is the metaverse is big around the world. In fact, there's a story about China. We'll be back with more right after this when we talk about the metaverse. What's going on there with Facebook? We'll talk about that next year on The Morning Show. I'll be right back.
Take KMET 1490 AM with you everywhere you go by downloading our free smartphone apps found on the KMET website, KMET1490am.com. You can also go to the Google Play Store or the Apple App Store on your phone to download the free app. Now you can listen live or play any of your favorite programmers' podcasts using your smartphone. Go to KMET1490am.com and download your free phone app today.
What is commitment, and why is it so hard to achieve? The new book, Committed, by Dr. Carmen Hara and Alexandra Hara, will make you reevaluate the way you think about love. Committed is a relationship manual that unfolds in 2 parts: the work you need to perform on the inside and the 7 distinct archetypes you will encounter on the outside. Committed, a new book available on Amazon by Dr. Carmen Hara and Alexandra Hara, will help to find and keep the love you deserve. Committed, available now on Amazon.
Ruth didn't know she was leaving for good. She knew he would kill her. Could she save herself? Did she feel she was worth saving? How could she best protect her children? To love, honor, and betray, Ruth Tunnicliffe shares her true tale, from submissive to survivor, then thriver, now living a proud, purposeful life as an optimistic, inspiring, peaceful warrior. Can a person heal from feeling the guilt of a decision altering many lives, weighted by living grief, moving through lessons learned, self-discovery, and land in self-love? Can someone who's been abused in every way move to self-trust, confidence, and arrive at living in peace? To love, honor, and betray, a sincere, honest letter to herself and her adult children, Ruth Tunnicliffe shares her story so that others may also find the inspiring, peaceful warrior within. Amazon worldwide, Barnes & Noble, RuthTunnicliffe.com.
Welcome back. Yes, it is the morning show here on ABC News Radio KMET 1490 AM. We got Jesse Sanchez over there. Jesse, what's going on in the world?
Unless you're looking at the story out. Okay, so which one of our watchers is in Ohio? Stephanie Reed?
Yeah, Stephanie.
Okay, so this, I don't know why this came up on my little feed here, but apparently an Ohio man allegedly rented a crane and used it to steal a 58-foot long bridge from a public park.
What?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm like, at first I was reading, I was like, a bridge? And yeah, apparently an Ohio man has been accused of renting a crane and using it to steal a 58-foot long bridge from a public park. Akron, Ohio police said 63-year-old David Bramley was arrested on Friday and charged with felony theft for allegedly stealing the bridge in November. The bridge was originally installed in Middlebury Run Park, but was later moved and stored in a field during a wetland restoration project. So apparently he paid a local trucking company to get access to a crane, and then he used the crane to load the bridge onto a vehicle and drive it to a nearby property. Now, why would you steal a bridge? Why?
I read briefly that article, I think it was yesterday, and I was like, I don't get it. I don't know why you would do it, and I don't know if it was like for, I don't know, your own little theme park in your own backyard. Like, I need a bridge to be back in my yard. I don't know. Like, what do you do with the bridge? I don't know. Unless you have a vendetta against somebody, you're like, I hate that you come over into our side of territory. I'm going to make you suffer for it. And you act like the Wile E. Coyote trying to trap the Roadrunner. It just never works out for you, right?
Okay, I can see that. I was thinking of something different. I was like, okay, maybe he's trying to build like a giant moat or like a giant like barrier around his home, 58 feet wide to keep everyone out.
Yeah, and better than to build your own, just get one from the city, right?
Right? They're not using it. It's okay. No one uses it. I'll just borrow it for a while. No one will know.
No one will figure it out. So there you go. You know, there are some dumb people and criminals out there that I say, come on, put your thinking mind on, man. You could be smarter than that, but there you go. This happened recently. Elon Musk showed no support for the metaverse, which is why I think you need to give it support 100%. If you don't give it support, I guarantee you're going to want to in the next year or two, because everybody's talking about the metaverse, including China. They have law firms that are saying no, and then other ones are like, we need to get trademarked on the metaverse. There are monies being exchanged and then some on the metaverse. I don't know enough about the metaverse, but this is what Elon Musk said. He said in the interview, I don't see someone strapping a screen to their face all day. I don't know if I necessarily buy into this metaverse stuff, although people talk to me a lot about it. Speaking around metaverse and virtual reality, he said that he does not see a future where one would have to leave the physical world to live in a virtual. Sharing a personal experience, he added that the VR headsets tend to trigger motion sickness while playing video games. That's true with the older ones, but not with the newer ones. The newer ones have a very high frame rate, so you don't have motion sick like you do on the older devices. Just so you know, Oculus, the latest one, is actually much more well-rounded out than the older devices that used to be out there. So he's a little off on that. But he founded Neuralink, which is a neural technology company that aims to deploy brain implants on humans for restoring and enhancing physical capabilities through computers. Why do you say no, Jesse?
I'm not getting a chip in my head. No, thank you.
Yeah. There's a problem with that, I guarantee it. He highlighted that people will not prefer moving around with VR headsets without wanting to ever leave it. He recollected being warned growing up about not sitting too close to TV. Anyway, that's our time. We're out of time. Make it a great day, whatever you do. Remember, life is worth living, so live it well. Bye-bye, everybody.